This podcast is going to be a little different, guys. We're going to have a lot of topics because we're going to touch upon most of what was revealed during Disney Plus Day, as we are recording this literally right after it ended. So it's all Marvel talk right here, right now. Of course, thank you to everybody that signed up and become a member. Just a quick shout out to all you guys. Remember, keep on checking that because we're dropping new discussions, audio commentaries, dropping down tiers, additional content, and so forth. So, with that in mind, let's just jump straight into the show.
Skype.
This Microsoft is Skype at their finest. Well, speaking of at their finest, let's talk about a half fine step today, and we're going to talk about D Plus Day, the good, the bad, and the really. So, with that in mind, of course, as always, I am your host, Armin, and I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can follow me on Twitter at Mitch692.
And also Tristan.
Disney is cheap, but you can find me at Twitter at SJChance.
So, what you guys are going to notice here is I structured this in such a way where we're doing the sandwich. We got something all right, then we got something maybe delicious, then it's like, ooh, is that rotting? And then it's like, oh, well, underneath that's kind of good. So it's a layered sandwich. It's like when Homer was eating that disgusting 4-foot sandwich. It's kind of like that.
So, were you still eating that sandwich? Yes.
Yeah. I only got to eat 3 more feet before it fits into the fridge. Oh. And trust me, this fridge right here is semi-cold when it comes to Marvel. So, with that in mind, this clearly means that the check hasn't come in because we're not praising everything, I'm assuming. I mean, I'll check after this and I'll just re-edit the episode if it has dropped.
But... I mean, it hasn't cleared for you for like the last 3 weeks, has it?
No, no, that's why I hated Eternals. I mean,
I was gonna say not with how you've been talking. That Christ.
Yeah. Well,
all these attacks on me personally. Like, what are you doing?
We'll talk about that soon for people looking forward to that. Also, Mitch did join our buddies over at the Nerd Academy, so I'll drop a link down below where you guys can listen.
He did. He was also on Ricardo's in Paris. Is in Paris?
Perfect.
In Paris? Yeah. In Paris Comic News. So yeah, nice. We went for like 2 hours on that shit. So.
Oh my god! See, I won't definitely go that long into it, but I'm gonna go see the film again, and then we're gonna give our thoughts on it. But with that in mind, let's just jump into the topics. First up, now with the intro out of the way, I want to talk about how they kicked off the Marvel section with a meme, which honestly, I think this worked because Wolverine holding a picture announcing the return of X-Men was kind of good. It got a chuckle out of me. I'm like, you know what? I'm excited
was that
for
actually
the X-Men.
The announcement? I thought people were just posting that because
no, that is the announcement.
No, that's why
Scoop.
That's how they did it.
Yep, that's like I said, it was the most creative of the announcements from Disney Plus.
Because it wasn't just a logo.
Yeah,
logo and a meme.
I mean, and that's kind of the thing. Like, we've known for a while that this has been in development. We heard rumors as far back as like 2018, I want to say. Like,
I was going to say, I've been saying it since 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
They've been working on this. So.
Yeah, and like from early reports and synopsis is that they're getting most of the original voice cast back.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can't wait to hear. What is it? Morph? Is that who Logan kept shouting about? Morph.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was wondering who they're going to get like to play like Wolverine. If like Steve Blum was going to be back to playing Wolverine, but apparently not.
Well, I mean, they can always change it up. I mean, and play around with ideas because it is going to be a continuation of sorts. Yeah. Like you could tell that they're probably going to take some changes and apply them to them because, like, when Fox did that, they were still very limited to what they could use. But now it's Marvel Studios; they can do whatever they want. And,
yeah. So hopefully we can have people actually using their weapons instead of just punching people.
See, no, I really hope they lean into that.
No.
And like, Gene still falls over every 5 minutes. Logan will never use his claws on anyone who's only punching them.
Logan goes bub, and then he pulls them out, and then never uses them.
Well, no, well, he does use them, but he uses them for like opening things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just really hope they lean into it.
Oh, I mean, I'm excited. I think there's some stuff going on in this that's going to be really cool to see and bring this back. Now, this also makes me hope that at some point between now and then they can maybe release remastered, up-res versions of the current series on Disney Plus. Because having those,
surprise me.
Because the current versions, look, man, they're like 420i at best. Like,
and 4x3, like you can't see anything.
It's a little rough. So at least if you're gonna keep them 4x3, at least put them through a res machine and bring those up to like 4K. Because look, fans have done it. You can do it yourself at home. I've done it with certain things. It's like, wow, this actually does clear up an image quite a lot. So I'm pretty sure Disney can drop $1,000 on a PC and set somebody to hit enter every morning to render one episode. So it's like, come on, just do it, okay?
I mean, they must have the originals anyway, surely.
You would assume, right? Like,
yes, they just like take it out of the Fox trash can, whatever they kept everything in.
Hopefully, it's not buried and getting the stink of Dark Phoenix on it.
Yeah, don't wonder, because it was made in, was it co-production with Saban Entertainment, so.
Oh, it was.
Ooh, yeah. I always forget that.
Yeah. Because that's what I forgot about, is that unlike Spider-Man the animated series from the 90s, Saban helped out Marvel with the X-Men.
Yeah, that was weird. Well, X-Men are coming back, so we'll see what's next for this when we get more announcement. Ms.Marvel, first look. There's definitely prisms and more hints of the Green Lanternness, so...
Yeah.
And apparently they don't know when it's releasing.
No.
Yeah, why say Q4 2 days before saying summer? Like,
I guess they changed their minds.
They don't change their minds that quick.
Yeah.
I think Chapek's probably like too high on crack or something to actually realize what the hell he's talking about.
I really hope that they're going to take the next 6 months and reshoot all the elements to make her a genie or whatever and put some Inhuman stuff in there.
I mean, they absolutely could.
They could, but they won't.
She's too busy with the Marvels right now. You can't reshoot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I think, when is the Marvels coming out? Is it 23?
Yeah, February.
Oh, it's February, yeah. Then, yeah.
I think they're timing this thing 6 months out.
Yeah.
So they want that sort of overlap, which is like not too long of a wait.
Yeah, because I've been seeing some people speculate that they wanted synergy between the Marvels and Ms.Marvel show. So
yeah,
it's like, could they change it? Yes. Will they? No. Why would they? They've never done it before.
Exactly. Yeah,
it sucks, but it's what it is. If the show's good, it's good. If not, it's just it's not a bad Ms. Marvel show because it's not Ms. Marvel. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of unfortunate, but that's where we're at. Like, I thought, we got a couple pictures and everything that released. And it's like, it looks good. Like, honestly,
I say it looks great.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's just the hang up everybody has now. It's like, well, it doesn't seem to be that character, so we'll see. But overall, there's excitement here. I'm excited to see what they have that they're gonna kind of, I guess, bring to the table with this idea, right? Like, it's certainly interesting, and I want to see how it crosses over directly into the next thing. So that's kind of a big one. It's like, how does this set up the Marvels or whatever's happening? So,
I mean, she'll probably get sucked into space, and it's like, hey, my powers are useful in space.
Right? Yeah.
Because I have to match everyone else. It's just like, okay.
True. Yeah, exactly. That's why I got the spectrum-looking thing around me in this one photo. So, again, when we get more, we'll get more. At least we got a couple screenshots. So that is that. Secret Invasion is so early in production that we got a picture of Nick Fury's face without an eye patch, and that's it.
It wasn't a picture because he moved.
Oh, did they actually release a video of it too?
Yeah, it was just a quick shot of him close-up face.
He literally just turns like half a degree.
Yeah.
In a special look in Disney Plus, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's like a Harry Potter picture. Like,
yeah, it's just look at his scarred up eye there.
Man's grey. He looking old.
I mean, I'm not gonna ding them too much for this one because this thing just started production recently. So
wasn't it August?
I mean, recent, right?
I mean, it's recent, but it's a couple of months.
I mean, compared to freaking Moon Knight is done and they could only show us 3 frames. I mean, we'll talk about that when we get there, but like Secret Invasion, it's one of those where we've had very few leaks, which is good for them, but it's like I wish at least we could have gotten a cast photo or something, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, or even just like showing the characters in it.
Yeah.
Like, who's Emilia Clarke playing? I know there's D23 what was it, 19th next week. Like, they're probably saving everything for that, but at least give us something.
Yeah, they be stretching this out. Like, man, they are. If I didn't know any better, Bob Chapek is Mr. Fantastic over here now because he is stretching everything to a thin line. Like,
well, that's why Kamala won't do it because he's taking the stretching away.
Oof. That explains everything now. So I suppose. This one should get people excited. Marvel Zombies animated project is happening. So
who'd have thought?
Who would have thought the episode that people liked is getting more zombies?
Is it a continuation from the What If episode, or is it a reimagining?
It looks to be like an adaptation of Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
Well, at least from the logo, like it's the comics logo. It's not a What If or anything.
Which, again, I guess this sort of leans into what they're doing, because the first time they announced Marvel Studios spinning off into animation, they made it seem like everything was going to be MCU based. And everybody's like, oh, that's kind of cool. But now it's like, oh, no. They're just going to have Marvel Studios slapped on top of every animated project moving forward. So it's sort of just like a branding. It doesn't have to be connected directly.
I mean, it's all in the multiverse, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's their way. Which, if that's how they want to do it, that's fine. Like,
yeah, I got no problem with it. I kind of expected this anyway, like adapting storylines.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. So, I'm honestly really excited to see what they do with the zombies, because it is a cool world, and the more you can do with more time, I think you could really build up a cool, unique take on the zombie formula that hasn't been done in live action, or even animation for that matter. Because like everything is, we're trying to be The Walking Dead. We want to be serious or slightly comedic like George Romero, and you're gonna have this drop. And again, it's Marvel and it's the zombies universe. And if they take more influence from the comics, I would be okay with that, because that thing goes insane. Like,
I say, because we've got the first look at like Marvel Studios X-Men is a revival of the old 90s cartoon, or a sequel to it. So like, are we gonna get Fantastic Four in this? Doesn't Reed Richards start the zombie stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, are they gonna like go for a proper like one-for-one adaptation of everything?
Well, if it is, you'd finally see the Ultimate Universe in animated form. That's where it started from.
It's true.
That would be smart from their perspective, right? Let's do something with that. So,
like, especially if they're not going to be like part of the MCU. Like, if this is going back to say like the old animated movies, like you had like Rise of Technova and all that,
right?
Like, if they're going to be more in that sort of a vein, then just make a one-for-one, kind of like what DC's doing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Hey, we're adapting this storyline. Like, we're doing this over at Marvel now. So it's not, we can use every character. It's not attached and constrained to anything.
Exactly. And hopefully it won't look as garbage as the Aquaman cartoon. So there's hope. There's hope.
I think that's got a charm to it. It's got a certain charm to it.
Oh, it's got something to it.
Would it be good? I have no idea. But
it definitely does. Moon Knight. First look. Why did they just put the leaked shot in the trailer? For the love of God, Marvel.
Because they're saving it for D23.
It's they tease it just enough. You're like, oh, they're gonna reveal him. Oh, he fell. He's gonna get up. No, really?
No. No, Feige's being petty.
Yeah,
like, you guys have been leaking stuff all this time. I'll make you wait.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. You watch. We're not going to get anything concrete until like the week before anything comes out. Now, like, this is what you get.
You're probably
Leak
right.
My Spider-Man is what you get. So
it's like, I think they're gonna stretch this out, and I'll be real with you. Like, the mood and what we're seeing from Moon Knight, it looks different. Like,
I love that shot of the mirror.
Yeah. Yep.
Where there's the two reflections, and he walks away, and they just kind of look at him. I adored that so much.
Mm-hmm.
His voice is a little weird, but I assume they're doing that because he's obviously going to be multiple personalities, so each one's going to have a different voice. It's not just going to be Oscar Isaac. But like, it does look cool. It looks more like Netflix stuff, like Daredevil and all that.
Yeah. It's got that more street vibe to it, which we're also seeing with Hawkeye, for example. It has that more. not super heroic, over the top flying. It looks like it's like, yeah, this is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to.
Yeah.
So
like people are going to get tired in this thing.
yeah, I I really hope Moon Knight just gets punched in the rib and can't move for 8 episodes to really give it that Netflix authenticity feel.
I hope so.
I hope.
But it looks great. The suit, from what we've seen, looks really cool as well.
Yeah, it looks good. And still, this is early. They just entered pre or post production a couple weeks ago when they wrapped shooting. So
yeah,
we still got a long way to go. I mean, they did say it's like, oh, this and She-Hulk, which we'll talk about soon, is coming before the Ms.Marvel, which means they're coming in the first half of the year.
So thank God we haven't got like a 6-month break.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Thank God.
Terrible.
I've struggled with a month and a half.
Yeah, legit.
It's like, no, you got me too used to it.
I mentioned She-Hulk. Let's talk a little bit about She-Hulk. We actually got more of this than I thought we would.
Yeah.
From what I saw, I'm liking this more and more.
I say this looks like she used CG. She's not going to be body paint. I've always seen someone go like, "Oh, they're just body painting her." It's like clearly not.
No, they're CG enhancing her, like they should.
Yeah.
Well, so the suit looks really good. From that one shot we got, the suit looks really.
Dude, it looks like they straight up ripped it out of the comics.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, even the shoes and everything look on point.
Yeah. She was getting gains doing leg day.
Yeah.
So I assume we got a little look at the fourth wall breaking stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's like all old timey. She like deadpans the camera.
Like, doing that parody of the old TV show.
I mean, also he looked just like Bill Bixby. I could not unsee it. I was like, bro, this is it. They're figuring this out. I mean,
but his arm's fixed.
Yeah, and
it's all healed up.
That.
Because Hulk has that hyper healing, so I don't know why people thought he was gonna be crippled for a lot longer. Then.
I mean, we've never really seen the Hulk heal hyper quick.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I mean,
like, yes, he got bit in the leg that one time in Ragnarok, but we never saw if that healed or what. He just went about his day.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot going on in this as well, because we know from all the leaks that have been confirmed with everything else, apparently Abomination is like a central piece of this entire show. Like, he's going to be huge. So that sounds like that's kind of important.
Does that mean Wong's going to show up? I hope it does.
I hope so. I really do hope so. He's got to be the
He's
mentor.
just like, crap.
Emilio, what did you do now?
From what we did see, it looks like Banner's trying to help Jen control the power. Before I guess it malfunctions and she's stuck as She-Hulk.
I would say She-Hulk's thing isn't about the anger, is it?
No. She embraces the power.
Yep.
So it's interesting that they're taking it that way, at least from the look of this. Unless it's going to be a case of, we're going to do the whole. He thinks it's all based on anger, but actually it's not. She can just control it whenever she wants.
Right.
Yeah, because from like the current Hulk run, it's Hulk's power are different personas, and they get their strength from different emotions.
Huh.
So.
Yeah, they could probably use that. Honestly, that'd kind of be cool. It's a different twist, certainly. So, yeah. I mean, She-Hulk, we got the brief footage of that. That's coming at us again before the summer is over. So I'm going to guess we're probably getting a series in like, what would you say, April and then June and then kind of slowly stagger them out.
I don't know. I assume you'd want one at the start of the year.
We were all thinking, Ms.Marvel's got to drop February. Nope.
I mean, when they come out and tell you that it's going to be early 2022, you're kind of expected to think it's going to be early. But
it also didn't help that everything they announced, which we still haven't talked about them, they just said coming soon. I'm like, you damn well know somebody's like 2.5 years away. How is that soon? Like, brand new series they announced, which we kind of knew was coming because of trades and everybody. We got Agatha, House of Harkness. So,
yes.
Yeah. Super hyped for this one.
I say no idea what they can do with this one. I assume it's more of a prequel.
I really hope it's the prequel and her dealing with the Darkhold and explaining some of that dark magic in the world. And witchcraft, because there is so much that Marvel has literally not touched with any of that. Like, there is just so much. And I'm going to assume again that this ties into the missing piece of the puzzle, which we thought they were going to announce, but they didn't, Werewolf by Night. So
possibly,
because I mean, he's directly related to the Darkhold, so it's like, well, I mean, you can maybe spin him off from Agatha, put in a curse or something instead of going the more Dracula approach, which I mean, who the hell knows? At least there's so many ways they could do it.
I mean, I assume Wanda's going to play a part in this as well.
Yeah,
to an extent.
Yeah. Would make sense,
because why wouldn't you have that connection in there? Like literally an open-ended WandaVision. It's like, hey, you can just bring her back in.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you a real easy way to connect all the dots and pieces of the puzzle. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they have with this, because it's just going to be, it's another corner of the Marvel universe that's not explored enough, that's going to get more time.
It's also one of those, I don't think anyone expected them, like, even just a joke, to be like, oh, yeah, they're going to make an Agatha show.
Yeah.
Like, no one even ever said, like, had that idea. So I want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I'm on board for this show. I know people are like, oh, don't need an Agatha show. Like, what's the point? It's like, no, it's exactly why I want to see it.
Yeah,
you can use her as a vehicle for the mystical stuff.
I mean, a famous director once said, if we're not careful, we could get Captain America, Thor, and Ant-Man, and who would want that? So,
I mean, that was directly from the blueprint, so.
Exactly, and the blueprint has, well, blueprinted away, so I don't know. Agatha, I'm super hyped. It's definitely not a top of my list, because it's like, I still know this thing's 2 years away, but it's...
yeah, it's a way off.
Yeah, I'm hyped. So this was a given. This was being announced because we heard about it the moment the casting happened. But Echo is officially happening.
Yeah, we've only known about this for a year and a half at this point. Really.
Yeah. Let's just be real about this one. This is the Daredevil and Kingpin show. I mean,
possibly.
If they're gonna pull this isn't the same Echo from the comics, like Ms.Marvel, it's like, okay, so, because in the comics, she is raised by Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
After he takes out her family, and she doesn't know he was responsible, so he, like, molds her into this, like, just brutal machine that's out to get revenge and everything. Then she learns, and she meets Matt Murdock. He's like, look, I know about anger and revenge. I can help you focus this. And then he teaches her, and they take on Wilson Fisk. All these pieces in recent leaks are all kind of you know.
I say this all sounds like it decides if the Netflix stuff is canon or not.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because Kingpin wasn't really Kingpin at the start of that show. We saw him evolve into it.
Yep.
So doing the whole thing with Echo, like, you can't really do that with that version, but I'll just have to wait and see.
They can backstep and retcon their way into it, and just be like, but you didn't know. It happened. Trust us. Kind of like the Eternals existing there the entire time. Like, well, we just agreed. The Star Trek Prime Directive, it said we can't interfere, so just sit back and watch everybody die. It's like, all right, I'll buy your excuse. It makes sense. So,
I mean, that's from the comics. You can't moan about that one.
And it works. So it's like, if Kingpin was like, I had a plan that I waited till now to execute, I'd be like, sure, sir. You stare at that blank piece of painting again.
Oh, here's how you do it, right? I forgot about it. This would be a smart little clever way. When did Daredevil season 3 take place? What year did that come out?
Like what, 2018? 2017, 18?
So it's before Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
There's a 5-year gap. How old's Echo in the MCU?
Oh, she looks to be like, what, maybe 18?
I can't remember how old the actress is. Let me just look this up.
I don't think that even matters.
Because you could really fandangle this and use that time gap as like, yeah, Fisk survived. He got out of prison in that 5 years. He picked her up as a kid.
I'm telling you, what they need to do is say that during that 5-year gap, he ran for mayor to try to, because he was like, look, I fought for New York from the ground up, and I did it. I became mayor. Like, I would have loved that.
Yeah. Right, she's 24. So you could...
Oh, you could skew that.
Maybe not as a kid,
Yeah.
but you could have a massive influence on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Season 3 came out 2018.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So you could say, like, if that take place in 2018 or not, you could say it took place in 2016. Like, you could make that like a 9-10 year ago thing for that series.
yeah, they could definitely put it in there and pull it off here. So a lot of excitement in regards to how this could all shape up, and a lot of it's because people can pretty much connect the dots at this point. So we're gonna see what happens next. Hopefully more from Disney on whatever day, because they're apparently announcing stuff all over the place now. So maybe let's talk about Spider-Man freshman year.
Yeah, all the crybabies finally got what they wanted. They wanted to see Uncle Ben get shot and say those words again.
Well, that's the thing. The whole freshman year bit is like, does that mean he's already started being Spider-Man?
Yes, from the synopsis, it's canon to the MCU. It's Peter's early days of being Spider-Man.
Really?
Here's what it says, and I quote, officially released by Disney after the announcement. The animated series follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU, with a journey unlike anything we've seen and a style to celebrate the character's early comic book roots. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with that, giving him like an actual, not a proper origin, but like that little, because now it's a limited series, because you can only do like, what, 6 months worth of stuff?
Yeah.
Like, you can't really go that far and that hard into it. So I quite like that. I'm actually excited.
From what the synopsis said, it looks like they're trying to go for an animated style, similar to Ditko's.
No, I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that.
I'm excited by this, honestly. It's certainly going to be interesting because we can see that this is Disney doing the skating around Sony, going, hey, I see you, and you see us. You see what we're doing, and if you're going to do this to us with Venom and your Morbius must be shoved in here, we're going to do it back at you by making this party MCU.
I was like, this to me just says that they're obviously working closer together.
Yeah, we can do anime series too.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's just I don't want to. To me personally, I just don't want to see the origin again. I mean, it's cool that it's happening. I don't want to see.
They don't have to necessarily show you, or at least go into detail about, Uncle Ben got shot or whatever.
You damn well know Uncle Ben is getting gunned down. That is not.
I mean, more than likely, but you don't have to make that a focus of like an entire episode. You can go like, hey, here's episode 1. This is the first 5 minutes. Let's move on with everything now.
Right.
Like, get into the interesting stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how this goes because again, it's before he's joined, the MCU. So it's going to be the proto suit and all that. That's kind of cool, right? Like
yeah, I like that.
That's a real good angle to take on this because again, it's going to fill in that gap, and I think this will pull in a certain amount of interest from people that will want to see more of Spider-Man's origin. Again, a lot of people don't want to, but the crybabies on the internet want that. Like,
no, they'll still cry because they didn't do it correctly.
Yeah, but who cares about them? Disney don't. That's why it's animated.
Yeah, I wonder who quote unquote his first villain is gonna be.
Oh, it's got to be some loser nobody's heard of, right?
Probably.
Yeah, but who would you make it? It can't be anyone big.
No, it definitely's got to be somebody so small that you're like,
yeah,
oh, okay, I guess. Honestly, I don't know who you would make it. You have to definitely go so small scale that he can barely get on the radar of anybody, which means you got to limit it down to, oh man, it's probably going to be Screwball.
I was thinking, make it the Prowler. Make it Aaron Davis.
Oh, they could.
I know they met in Homecoming, but you could make it Aaron Davis.
They could probably even get the same. Yeah, they could definitely get him back.
Yeah, get I can't remember what he's called. Who's the guy? Donald Glover.
They could get him back.
Either that, or I could see them using the Kangaroo.
I mean,
He's a very.
If they really ran out of villains that quickly, yeah.
Tristan, the dead silence we just gave you should be an indicator of what we think.
Hey, it's a Spider-Man villain. It's maybe like Z tier, but hey, you want it obscure.
I'm gonna be real honest with you here, Tristan. I thought kangaroo, and I was like, I'm not saying that.
I'm
There's no
embarrassed
way in
if I
hell
say
I'm
this.
saying kangaroo.
Hey, he
No,
has
proper.
like he has like the kangaroo, the armadillo man.
Oh,
I was like,
Lord.
kangaroo, boomerang. Like, who'd you use?
Oh, boomerang would be good, honestly. I would like that.
Mm.
Oh, that's actually good.
Or you can even like set up people. Like, what's who was that? The doctor that used all the sound waves. And he has like the black suit with like the rings, like all on it. I can't think what his name is. He's like an anti-hero sort of a thing. Can't think of his name. Or even Yuri, you can set her up. Something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, like, no, I think there's a lot of possibilities here. It's gonna be kind of cool to see a different style of Spider-Man show where every week he's not fighting a famous villain, which makes me think this is going to be more of a long-form story and, structured way better than just toss this in because sell constant toys on every episode. It's
They just have 6 months to tell it all.
perfect.
Or a 6 month, not 6 months to tell it all, but a 6 month window to tell everything.
Yeah. Because once he gets to Homecoming, that's it. So it's like you're limited on time here. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited. I think we'll remain optimistic. We'll obviously talk more about it, and when the time comes,
I'm more excited now that I know.
Same. Yep.
It's actually worth watching. I would have watched it
I get what you're
regardless
saying.
anyway. But like, it's actually it's connected to stuff.
Yeah, because it's like if they announce it's like, if it's just its own standalone thing, you're kind of like, oh, okay, well.
I saw Taco King said the answer, and I looked it up. Yeah, it's Clash.
So is it Clash?
Yes,
okay.
it's
Clash. Yeah.
He's
Clayton
from
Cole, that's the...
Yeah. Dan Slott he has,
and he was actually in one of the Spider-Man cartoons.
Oh.
Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of it for the rundown, right? Because we just had more. It's like, oh, here's your logo for I Am Groot still, and it was kind of like that was it.
Yeah, you just got a logo for I Am Groot, the holiday special. Yep.
Got the Ironheart logo.
Which again, nothing too new about any of these really. Like it wasn't too much.
This was a perfect time to just give a concept art with the logo.
Yeah, like even Marvel Studios' What If Season 2, they literally just added Season 2 underneath the Season 1 banner logo. It was like, bro, did you whip this up 3 minutes before you posted it? What is this? Like,
this is Chapek cutting corners.
Oh, did he cut the entire budget of the production team for?
I mean, that's why there's a Twitter thread and not like an investors call.
I mean, yeah.
You just told the intern to open up Photoshop. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is, what it is. But overall, I think it was a mixed bag. I feel like that this was Marvel Studios and Disney's fandom. It's like, oh, okay,
I hope not, because fandom compared to this was Christmas.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that did have full Batman trailers.
This was
mess. It was a mess. Yeah, it was a mess, but it was still better than fandom.
I mean,
no. Fandom had this beat easily. Like at least with fandom, I watched effort into.
I watched it.
Yeah, but you could watch it.
Yeah,
there was something to watch. They had effort into fandom. Like, they spent a week hyping this up, and it's literally a Twitter thread.
Then
they're like, go catch like your first look at these shows on Disney Plus right now. They weren't on the UK before we recorded this. I had to actually come upstairs and use a VPN to watch it. So it was a mess from start.
I could only watch the Obi-Wan stuff. Nothing else showed up on my feed. I was like, oh, okay.
And everyone saw that yesterday when it leaked.
Yeah.
Thank you, Disney Plus India.
What a...
even then, that wasn't anything new because they've shown that before to investors in that. So we knew all about that already.
It's true. It was a mixed bag. Hopefully they do better in the future because they've done better in the future. Last year in December, they destroyed expectations.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. I don't get how you see the reaction to that
Yeah.
And then a year later, we get a Twitter thread.
Actually, hold up. I'm gonna do an interesting thing here.
Because they're all going, oh, tune into this, tune in on this time. Like, you get all the articles like, here's how to watch everything. It's like, well, where's my stream? Like, you didn't even put much effort into it last year. It was literally just an investors call with Kevin Feige talking for 40 minutes.
And that's the thing. Disney has went from $175 per share to right now at $159.
It's gone down that low.
It's the lowest they've had since
years.
Since November of 2020. No, October of 2020-ish. Woo.
Oh, really? I thought they. No. I thought they were been in about the 160s, 170s for years.
From what I can remember now, they had a jump as soon as they announced all that stuff.
Yeah, that was kind of a lull, and then they jumped straight back up. But this is over the course.
I say because it dropped because the sub count is not going up as quick anymore, is it?
That too, and also today, ever since this started, it dropped about $2. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah, everything dropped because they didn't want to spend the extra money for an MC and a green screen.
I tell you what, if I was investors, I'd be kind of, because a near 20-point drop in the day. It came back up, sure, but
that's it's pretty big.
It didn't even drop that much with ScarJo. Christ.
Yeah, this whole thing it's gonna be interesting to see the reaction to this. Obviously, there's plenty of content coming. You would hope that their next investors call, or they announce a Disney Plus summit type of deal again for December or something, and do what you did last year. Give us more first looks of all of these, and also announce the new films. We know the Rogue Squadron has been pushed back indefinitely. Confirm KOTOR, for the love of God. Just say it's coming in 2023. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand why they're doing they're honestly doing what Sony has done with video games, where they just go, we'll tell you the next year and a half, and then everybody starts doing the pieces. Is Sony in trouble? Sony Gaming is about to fail because they have nothing. And then they come out and go, fine, here's another year and a half worth of content. And then they go silent again. It's not the way to do it. Like, it's...
No.
This is kind
of... I think a lot of it is purely because of COVID. And, releases still aren't set in stones that anything can... Like, they're just trying to be flexible. And
that's what it seems like from all entertainment. Is that they're trying to not set expectations too much, because as we've seen, delays happen and people get mad when delays happen.
So, well, I guess with that, we're gonna sign it off now because we are recording this at a different day, at a different time, and everything's been thrown off. But we want to get our reactions out to you guys, so stay tuned. I'm gonna go see Eternals, and then, well, again, and then we're gonna do a spoilerific chat about everything in Eternals. So, yeah. We'll be back.
I mean, are gonna fight.
Yeah, we're gonna fight between what did you grade the movie? What would you give it as a number?
I mean, on the Nerd Academy, I said a B, but up here I said a B just out of I have no idea about scoring movies, numbers or letters. I'm just gonna say something.
Okay.
But
yeah,
seen it a couple of times already and talking about it. It's still in my top 3.
I think once I've thought about it more and talked about it more, which is why I want to see it a second time, I think I'm going to actually like it more knowing what's kind of coming at me, which is why I want to see it again before we talk about it. So
you still want to fight because you'll lose.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to argue about it. Definitely. My how dare he give this an 8-ish is travesty.
Look, I've had 3 weeks of hell, okay?
That's true. Every time
it doesn't help when you're like, oh, tag him. It's like
it takes a 0.5 stumble. Tag Mitch, tag him.
Nick's asking for a mute from the group because always posted.
I'd say I was so close to muting Nick and Ryan. If you're listening to this right now, I apologize.
Look, because he just posted something right now.
You really did. I was literally at the joke, like, go on, tag me. What are you doing? You didn't do it.
So, thank you, everyone.